wait? Okay. He's going to give both of the, just leave them right there. He's going to give both of those?
Yeah, he's going to give both.
Okay. All right, we'll call the meeting of the City Council of Missouri City to order and state that the notice for this meeting was duly posted. There is a quorum of City Council present. Everyone's here. If you will stand, our Elkins High School Junior ROTC will post our colors and lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oast.
Very good, thank you. Suck it up.
Go. Suck it up.
Suck it up.
They all been good.
Huh? Tony's coming up. All right. Which is she doing both of them? Huh? What does she want to do? We're going to do the sexual assault first or the victims? All right.
Ellen, the young lady there, she was up. Is she?
Yeah, come on up, Tony. Let me read this proclamation. It says that whereas 18.7 million Americans are directly harmed by crime each year, and each crime affects many more family members, friends, neighbors, and co-workers. And whereas the physical, emotional, and financial impact of crime falls on people of all ages and abilities, on all economic, racial, and social backgrounds. In 1982, the President's Task Force on Victims of Crime envisioned a national commitment to a more equitable and supportive response to victims. Whereas now is the time to extend the vision through the comprehensive strategy for reaching and serving every victim of crime, especially traditionally underserved victims such as those with disabilities and victims from diverse cultures. The United States Department of Justice has launched the Vision 21 initiative to renew our nation's commitment to serving all victims of crime in the 21st century. Whereas National Crime Victims' Rights Week, which is April the 22nd through the 28th, 2012, provides an opportunity to extend that vision to every victim of crime in the United States to help ensure their access to the help they deserve and the rights they're promised. Now, therefore, I, Alan Owen, on behalf of the Council and all the citizens of Missouri City, do hereby proclaim April the 22nd through April the 28th, 2012, as National Crime Victims' Rights Week in the city of Missouri City, and reaffirm this city's commitment to respect and enforce victims' rights and address their needs during National Crime Victims' Rights Week and throughout the year. So, Chief, you want to make some comments?
First and foremost, I'll introduce you to Tony Slusher. Tony Slusher is our Victims Assistance Officer.
She does a fantastic job working with individuals that have unfortunately been the victims of crime in our community. Tony's one of the longest tenured females that has worked in law enforcement in Fort Bend County. She left Missouri City Police Department as a police officer and came back as victims assistance officer. And she's very caring and, again, adds a lot to the police department, because without someone working with victims day in and day out, a lot of the needs of the community would go without the type of support systems that they need to have in order to take themselves out of being a victim of crime and pulling themselves out of having been victims. She arranges compensation for crime victims, and as most people know, when you are a victim of crime, there's a certain amount of money allocated to help you recover some of the damages because of you being a victim. And Tony arranges that for people. She also arranges it for people that are victims of domestic violence and domestic abuse. It's so important here in our community because a lot of the crimes of assault that happen are either relatives or people that have to be placed or taken out of a certain situation and put into another, and Tony's excellent at it. So I'll let her say a few things because Tony she doesn't get enough credit, but you don't want to say anything? Okay. All right, but thank you. On behalf of the police department, this is one of 2 proclamations, Mayor, that you'll be reading that pretty much have to do with the same type of thing, victims of crime, and Tony works with both. This portion of it, and she also works with the sexual assault victims. So thank you, Mayor, and thank you, members of council.
This proclamation says that whereas National Sexual Assault Awareness Month is intended to draw attention to the fact that sexual violence remains an intolerable violent crime with public health implications for every person in Missouri City, Texas. As a victim, survivor, or as a family member, significant other, neighbor, or co-worker of a victim, survivor, and whereas rape and sexual assault impacts women, children, and men of all racial, cultural, and economic backgrounds, and whereas no one person, organization, agency, or community can eliminate sexual assault on their own, we must work together to educate our entire population about what can be done to prevent sexual assault, support victims, survivors, and their significant others, and ensure that victims, survivors are not re-victimized. And whereas National Sexual Assault Awareness Month is also meant to encourage public education and public discourse that leads to full public competence in speaking out against sexual violence, counteracting the reality that many in today's society remain disturbingly uninformed with respect to issues of sexual violence. Now therefore, I, Alan Owen, on behalf of the Council of the Citizens of Missouri City, do hereby proclaim April of 2012 as National Sexual Assault Awareness Month in the City of Missouri City, Texas, and reaffirm the City of Missouri City's commitment to address the issue of rape and speak out against sexual violence by supporting survivors, holding preparatory responsible things for that are committing sexual attacks, and challenging societal myths and behaviors that perpetuate sexual violence in our community. You have double receipt. We make you talk twice.
We got to make her talk.
I'm going to lift them out up there for you. There we go. Looks good.
Thank you. All right. And this proclamation says that whereas Autism Awareness Month is an opportunity for families, friends, and our community to raise public awareness about autism, the fastest growing developmental disability in the country. Today, more than 1.5 million individuals in the United States are diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimated that 1 out of every 110 children are diagnosed with autism, up from its previous estimate of 1 in 150. And whereas there is currently no known cure for autism, however, as the understanding grows regarding autism spectrum disorders, it is known that every intervention is key in addressing the symptoms associated with autism. The stress on families affected by autism is immense. As they search for treatments, they find that they are numerous. And because autism affects each person differently, what treatments work for one may not work for others. Therefore, it is also key that all treatment plans be made specific for each individual. And whereas Blessed Be Hope for Three was organized to provide help and create hope by raising community awareness and providing educational and financial support to families with children diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders. Missouri City is proud to join them in this mission and commend them for their unwavering commitment and encouragement to those in the autism community to never give up in their search to help their loved ones reach their full potential. And whereas Autism Awareness Month raises public awareness about autism and its effects and offers hope to all who deal with the hardships of this disorder by uniting not only the autism community, but all of Fort Bend County to address this urgent global health crisis. Together we will solve this puzzle. Now therefore, I, Alan Owen, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2012 to be Autism Awareness Month in the city of Missouri City. So we have people here that are accepting this, and I might say that recently all of the mayors in Fort Bend County joined together in supporting autism, and that was a chore in itself, wasn't it, to get us all together in one night. So.
First, I'd like to thank Mayor Owen and the council for recognizing the urgent and obvious need to raise autism awareness. The foundation was started in honor of a dear friend that has triplets, all girls, identical. They turned 6 on Sunday. All 3 girls are autistic. So I recognize the need, seeing them go through the challenges and struggles that they were suffering with, to found the organization to raise community awareness and provide support and resources to the families in our community. We worked diligently to acquire the support of all the mayors in Fort Bend County, which were a total of 18 cities, to recognize April as Autism Awareness Month. So we appreciate everyone's support, the mayor, the cities, and the community as well, and hope that you'll continue. And what I ask is, I brought some information I'd like to share and bring you an awareness band and a pin if you'll wear those for the month of April. Thank you very much.
Oh, you bet. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've got a nice pen to wear.
Appreciate it.
He does a great
That's the puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Put it on my motorcycle vest.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Floyd was just said, I think there was a deal recently on TV that I think has said that this number's up to 1 out of 88.
The CDC released a report Thursday that the numbers are 1 in 88 with 1 in 54 being boys. So it's changed just
Yeah.
that recently.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you for your support. I greatly
No, thank you.
Oh, thank you. The girls were 6 on Sunday.
Good.
Thank you.
Great organization. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you so much. Appreciate it.
You bet. All right, item 4 on the agenda is public comments. I did not have anyone sign up to make public comments, so item 5 are staff reports. There are no staff reports. Item 6 is consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as written?
Mayor, I would like to pull item A from the consent agenda for
All right.
discussion.
I'd like to pull item C, make a motion that we approve item B and D.
All right, B and D.
Second.
Councilman Marshall made the motion, Councilman White made the second. All those in favor, motion carries. Now, item 6A is consider approving the minutes of the special and regular city council meeting of the 19th of March.
Yes. It felt very good that we got a vote of confidence from the mayor and the Mayor Pro Tem and the councilman at large to suggest that the 4 single-member district council members take a hard look at the redistricting and come up to some decisions, and we took that at heart, and I'm really proud of the fact that we came up with a decision. As a result of that, I wanted to make some corrections in the minutes.
Okay.
Item 1, it says call to order. That actually was called to order by the consent of the 4 council members. The other is item number 2, paragraph number 4 is council member Bobby Marshall was definitely a part of that, and there was an omission there, so we need to make that change. And also the council members that were seated at the meeting proposed this change in bringing to council the conclusions and the decision that was made in that meeting. So I like the last sentence of that paragraph to be changed as well.
And what do you, for Maria's benefit, what do you want it to say?
That the council members seated at that meeting unanimously agreed to bring Plan C to council,
okay.
To the council.
Okay?
Yeah, somehow my name got left off there.
Yeah, all right, so that's your motion?
Yes.
A second.
All right. Councilman Smith made the motion, Councilman Emery made the second. We'll vote all those in favor. Motion carries. All right, item 6C. Yes, sir?
God, if you want. Reason I pulled this is I know the last time this Gessner Road irrigation system was discussed, both the irrigation and the lighting system was discussed. And could you just clarify for council what the status is of both projects, and because they are interconnected, they're coming out of the same money pot.
We were approximately $90,000 under budget on the Gessner Road project, all in. We developed a lighting plan based upon standard Cobra head lights at council's input on that. We paid Centerpoint and wrote them a check for $15,000 for the standard Cobra head lights, and they do have the work order, and it's sitting at Centerpoint right now on the installation of that, so that is in progress. We received bids on the irrigation system.
What's your, on the lights, what's your expected ETA with Centerpoint?
They promised us about 6 weeks. We still have about 4 weeks, or 6 weeks once they have the check in their hands and cashed on that. So we
Had
still
it for
have
how long?
About 2 weeks now
Okay.
on that.
So we're within a month. Okay.
Yeah, and we received bids. We went out and we designed the irrigation system to irrigate the right-of-way on the project. And let me go ahead and, we received bids, three bidders. The low bidder was Texas Lawn and Landscape Services of Sugar Land with a bid of about $40,000, $39,241 on that. And we recommend award to Texas Lawn and Landscape Services.
But in the end, we had enough money for both projects.
We have enough money, and, you know, with the $40,000 here, with the design costs, and we should still be sitting somewhere around $10,000 to $15,000 under budget on the project.
Okay. I move approval.
Second.
I just wanted clarification. Thank you, Scott.
All right, Councilman Marshall made the motion, Councilman Ellencat, did you make the second?
I'll make it now.
Well, I heard somebody, did Danny do it? Okay.
Throwing his voice.
Throwing his voice over toward Robin running. All right, all those in favor? Motion carries.
Ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist. All right, item 7 are public hearings and related actions. 7A are zoning public hearing and ordinances. 7A1.
7A1, ordinance of the City of Missouri City, Texas, amending PD Plan Development District Number 74, excluding an 8.8 acre tract of land from PD Plan Development District Number 74, describing said 8.8 acres of land, changing the zoning classification of said 8.8 acre tract of land from PD Plan Development District Number 74 to PD Plan Development District Number 82, regulating and restricting the development use of property within PD Plan Development District Number 82, referencing the site plan for such PD Plan Development District, amending the zoning district map of the City of Missouri City as adopted by ordinance number 0811, adopted on January 19, 1981 as amended, repealing in part ordinance number 0939, adopted on October 19, 2009, and all other ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing a penalty, providing for severability, and containing other provisions relating to the subject.
Have been any changes?
No, other than that, this is now a PD ordinance for the patio homes, and it specifically states that the use is permitted would be patio cluster
Well
homes.
suggested.
Yeah, just a little extra protection.
All right,
Move to
who
adopt.
made the second? You made the second? Mayor Pro Tem White made the motion, Councilman Marshall made the second. All those in favor, motion carries. Item 7A2.
An ordinance of the City of Missouri City, Texas, amending PD Plan Development District Number 74, describing the 12.04 acre tract of land within PD Plan Development District Number 74, revising the uses allowed within Tract 5 of such PD Plan Development District, referencing a site plan for such PD Plan Development District, providing for construction according to said plan, amending the zoning district map of the City of Missouri City as adopted by ordinance number 0811, adopted on January 19, 1981 as amended, repealing ordinance number 0939, adopted on October 19, 2009, and all other ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing a penalty, providing for severability, and containing other provisions relating to the subject.
Again, there are no changes, or motion? Councilman Emery made the motion, Councilman Ellencat made the second. All those in favor, motion carries. Item 7B, public hearings and related actions, there are none. Item 8 are appointments, there are none. Item 9 are authorizations. 9A is to consider designating a proposed plan for public comment to redistrict council member district boundaries in order to come into compliance with one person, one vote requirements.
Mayor and council, as you're aware, as a result of the 2010 census and the population growth over the past 10 years, the city is required to redistrict the single-member council member districts in order to ensure that the population within those districts are as equal as they can be. There are some other guiding legal principles that are also required, as the redistricting must ultimately be presented to the Department of Justice for pre-clearance as an election change. As part of this process, the city, of course, must initiate the process of developing a map that accomplishes all of those purposes. And at the last meeting, there was an opportunity for council to draw such a map, and the 4 single-member district council members were present. And at the conclusion of that meeting, they did develop what you see before you, which is Plan C. And those council members who were present did recommend to the council as a whole to pass this plan on to be presented at a later city council meeting for public comment.
Okay?
Bobby?
So we need a motion to assume to adopt
I'll make a
Plan
motion.
C.
I make
To-
a motion to adopt this Plan C.
And if I could just
as
modify,
recommended by council.
and if I could modify that to designate this plan to be presented for public comment.
Okay.
That's right. I'll second.
Councilman Smith made the motion, Councilman Marshall made the second. All those in favor?
Well, I
Yeah.
want to basically say to the 4 district people is that this is a very good representative map. But even more important is this is a map that, from my going through it, I believe will meet the scrutiny of the Justice Department. So it's not just drawing maps. The work that y'all had done is to justify why we're doing this and why the change is being made. And I think all of those things were taken into consideration in line with the help of the consultants.
And I guess my only question is, are we going to have this map on display in the lobby downstairs for people to come and look at it if they want to prior to the public?
We certainly
I would
can do
suggest
that.
that we do that, and not that anybody will do it, but just have it downstairs so that if people do have some concern.
About it being available on the website.
Well, it's on the website, but I mean, that's kind of hard to print one that big.
Well, and with that idea in mind, we can actually, at many of the public places we have, including the community center, and also ask the libraries if they could put it on display, since we have 2 libraries in Missouri City.
Yeah.
And Mayor
golf course, too.
and Council, I'd like to also mention that City Attorney Caroline Kelley worked very hard with this. I know she got many different calls from council members that asked and explained probably the same things over and over, and so I applaud her for her patience in helping us come to the decision that we made.
We didn't even redistribute
So noted.
One other comment. I think if we're going to put the maps up there, if we could display one that has the city streets designated as shown on the display that we have on the website, as opposed to the one that we had back in the back, which I don't believe gave you the detail of streets. And I think that's important. So if we could make sure that it had that
Scott, do we
designation.
have the ability with our printers to print clear acrylic that you could actually take the districts as they are today and overlay that on what they will be?
We do, what we can do is print it on an acetate and
Yeah.
have an overlay on it. We've done that in the past, and we can do
And
that.
otherwise, people are going to say, well, what changed? Well, I think if they had the clear acrylic on top of it, they could actually see where the lines have changed and know that we didn't just go through this just for the heck of it.
If we voicing wish lists around here.
Well, you'll light your house up on
Some of the boundaries of the districts are not necessarily streets, and you can't really follow a line. I know in the western, southwestern part of the city, you have a little difficulty to determine what really is that boundary line. If there's something there, a structure or something that can be highlighted.
For example, if it's Long Point Creek, to show it along. And I'll defer to Caroline a little bit on how much we can modify anything, but
We can certainly have a display map that shows detail. What will actually ultimately make its way to the Department of Justice
Right.
is this map here, which I don't know if you can tell, but it does have the current council districts in red line overlaid. But we can certainly have an enhanced, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, it's kind of
But we'll certainly have the ability to have enhanced displays that show streets, and as you know, these districts are based on census blocks, and that is how you may see some unique or odd-shaped. It's because we're fully encompassing census blocks in one district or another.
Aren't the voting districts changing as well?
Yes.
When will we see those? I mean, have they been finally adopted? I'm talking about precincts.
The county election
County
precincts.
precincts.
Have you heard confirmation?
We have, there has been no,
Huh?
there has been no confirmation of redistricting maps by the county.
But they are drawn, I hear.
And
They won't be before May 29th.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I mean,
And the
they're-
county election administrator has been in touch with us and is going to forward when he has final copies.
Because I know you change.
Yeah, I changed, yeah.
You're not in mine
2033.
anymore. All right, very good. So there was a motion by Councilman Smith and a second by Councilman Marshall. If there's no other discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor. Motion carries. Item 9B, consider authorizing the execution of the Missouri City Joint Groundwater Reduction Plan Participation Agreement with Fort Bend County Municipal Utility District Number 149.
Okay, Mayor and Council, the city currently has a groundwater reduction plan that's been in effect since 2008, July 2008. At the time that the plan was submitted and approved, the MUD 149 projections and population count were taken into account, so they were actually included in the plan. At the time, they were not an active MUD. They were receiving services from MUD 115, which is a Riverstone MUD. MUD 149 is a Riverstone MUD, is now active, and they have been paying their pumpage fees, and they are current, and they are now requesting to become a participant by agreement. So staff and the GRP committee are recommending that.
Mr. Ellencat, that's your motion?
Yes, sir.
All right, been a motion by Councilman Ellencat, second by Councilman Wynn. There's no other discussion. We'll vote. All those in favor, motion carries. Item 9C is consider authorizing the execution of an agreement for the design of Texas Parkway intersection improvements.
I move to adopt.
Second.
You may not want to do that. There's a U-turn plan in here.
I know about all the turns on this.
Scott, I did get an email this past week from a young man, I think he said he was 12 years old, that was concerned because he couldn't walk from where he lived on Turtle Creek across Texas Parkway to the CVS drug to pick up Cokes. And wanted to know what plans there were for a crosswalk at Turtle Creek and Texas Parkway.
Well, and that is one of the intersections that are included in this 80-20 matching grant. For council's information, we have been approved for federal funding, 80-20, so it's $1.75 million in federal money, $437,000 in city funding to do intersection improvements. And right now, we've identified the intersection as Texas Parkway at Missouri City Drive, Texas Parkway at Grant Park, Texas Parkway at Independence, Texas Parkway at Court, and Texas Parkway at Cartwright. I apologize. I said that Turtle Creek. I was thinking Cartwright. The Turtle Creek Texas Parkway intersection is actually included in the Texas Department of Transportation project from Cartwright Road to the toll road as a redesign for that, and they're currently under redesign, and the pedestrian signal would be one of the components of that project.
I told him it was a state project right now.
On that. But this particular project, we're looking at making needed intersection improvements, additional turn lanes at intersections, and also the reconstruction of some of these signals as decorative mass storm signals as part of that project. And again, it's an 80-20 federally funded project.
Scott, I probably will have to visit with Quail Green West and talk about the lights and the turns. Hopefully you can go along with me.
Sure. We can do that. I can do that. Just let me know when.
West or south?
West. Quail Green.
Arguing over boundaries already?
Quail Green, sorry. Thank you, Bobby.
He's got it.
Mine's Quail Green West.
Okay. They're already arguing over boundaries here. Okay, guys.
I already have it.
All right. I got a motion by Councilman Smith and a second by Councilman Wynn. All those in favor?
Back to your original question in the crosswalk.
Yeah.
Was this young man thinking in terms of a painted crosswalk?
He didn't say, he just said a pedestrian crosswalk.
We can fix that.
That he felt like was
we
unsafe.
could not put a crosswalk on the state roadway unless there's a corresponding pedestrian signal.
Yeah.
And I do not believe that intersection has a corresponding pedestrian signal at it on that. So that's.
We're going to answer him?
I did.
I just want to clarify to me.
I told him it was a state project and it more than likely was in the redesign work for that, but it wasn't ours.
That project is currently under redesign by TxDOT to go from a larger roadway to a 4-lane roadway, and we don't have a date yet.
College councilman.
Thank you.
The councilman had all the stroke. No, I did. He's a nice young man. All right. Been a motion and a second. All those in favor? Motion carries. Item 9D is consider authorizing the execution of an agreement for the design of Fire Station Number 5. Everybody's excited about this down in that area.
Yes, they are. We are ready to move forward with a design contract with Hall Barnum Lucchese Architects, aka HBL. This proposal is for doing the design development, the contract documents, meaning the plan specifications and estimates, and then contract administration during the construction, which would include answering RFIs, reviewing submittals, et cetera. So staff recommends contracting with HBL for $248,020.
All right.
So how is this being paid for?
That's my motion.
I'll second.
Well, we probably need to get extra funds. Chief, you and I are traffic controller now, you landing planes.
Chief, you got something you want to say, or you just standing up to support? Okay.
How is this design compared to 3 and 4?
Councilmember Wyatt asked a question, how it was being funded. Sienna Mud 1.
Yeah, I was really trying hard. How is this being paid for?
Sienna Mud 1 is contributing.
I want to make sure we're on record of who's paying for this.
Yeah. Russell might want to speak to the comparison to 3 and 4.
As comparison to Fire Station 3 and 4, this is the footprint is almost the same size. It's slightly smaller, but we've redesigned the interior of the station to handle future growth, and this station is designed that a third bay can be added at a future date if needed for an EMS unit or other services.
And when will we start construction, and when will we be finished? That's what the citizens want to know.
From talking to Mr. Lucchese, the construction documents will take roughly 4 to 5 months to complete. We're hoping or shooting for a groundbreaking in October of this year, and it'll be 12 months after that that hopefully the station will be open.
October 13th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, October 13th, yeah. Okay.
Do
Very
we
good.
use Hall Burnham for number 2? Station
Yes,
2? Yeah.
We'll do a lot of it. All right. Been a motion by Councilman Emery and a second by Councilman Marshall. All those in favor? Motion carries. Item 9E is consider authorizing the purchase of recreational equipment for the rec center, I think.
Yes, sir, for the rec center. Mayor and council, staff desires to improve the programming and fitness offering to the Missouri City residents by purchasing cardio and weight room equipment for the new tennis and rec center. Staff has met with and demonstrated products from 7 companies. Each company had the opportunity to demo their product line to the current community center customers. The Pre-Core line from Team Marathon Fitness received the most compliments from our current customers. The purchasing office inquired with several Missouri City businesses to determine if there were any interest from local vendors to bid on commercial-grade exercise equipment. However, no interest was expressed. The equipment is available through the Local Government Purchasing Cooperative Buy Board, Cooperative Purchasing Program Contract 336-10. Total cost of the equipment proposal is $170,429.72. The equipment purchase comes with a free preventative maintenance on all their products for the first year, and their service department is located in Stafford, so if there are any issues with the equipment, it's minimal downtime for our customers. The Recreation Division will utilize general fund dollars to purchase a portion of the equipment, $20,000 to come from our general operating dollars, minor equipment budget line, and the rest from capital dollars, $150,430, of which we have $208,071 total. The remaining balance of that fund will fund additional purchases of tennis and rec center furniture, fitness furniture, and equipment. And we're recommending that council authorize the purchase.
Larry, what happens to the equipment that we have in the current center? Are we able to use any of that?
We have some that we've purchased in the year and a half since I've been here. That newer equipment that is currently Pre-Core line will go with us.
What happens to the rest of it?
There's some that just won't work, really old multi-station that we'll probably, I guess we haven't decided that for sure, but either we could keep it somewhere for city employees to use or sell it in the auction.
Russell, don't you all still have the capability of using some of that equipment in your fire stations for the firemen and police officers work out with, so we could put it in Station 5? Charles going, yes, sir.
Station 5 is not in the city yet.
Oh, I know that, but that's all right. We could
All right, we can
utilize that
temporarily
equipment without
put it
getting,
down.
putting it in an auction, so.
Yeah, you're not gonna get anything for it in auction.
That's right. Okay, just wanted to make sure that we weren't scrapping that, because it has some useful life.
There are a couple of items that we are trading in.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt the recommendation.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem White made the motion. Need a second from Councilman Marshall.
Now, I'm gonna bring this up so nobody else will. The batting cages, you have an update?
I was about to do that.
See what I mean? I'm reading them.
We're in the process of securing information and prices on pitching machines to be placed in the 4 stalls of the batting equipment. With the project comes the concrete slab and the netting and I believe electrical up to the concrete for the batting cage. And then we will use some of these capital dollars and some other capital dollars within Parks and Recreation to purchase the pitching machines.
Okay.
Is there going to be lighting out there?
Yes.
Or is it strict?
Yeah, definitely.
Just one question is, what's the dimension of the concrete slab?
I would say that most batting cages are probably
Are we designing for most batting cages?
6
Yes.
feet wide and probably.
Actually, they're 13 feet
Are
wide.
they
You put the
13?
plate in the
Well, I
middle
guess
so you can
got
bat on
swing-
both
yeah, You got
sides.
swing, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you
And
gotta
then
have that on both sides.
it's right at 55 feet.
Important
55
because
feet
It
depth.
really is important.
Yes.
Well, that's debatable, because they know, I've been talking to some companies also, and basically don't recommend a concrete slab so the ball don't come back on anybody.
The surface, I guess I should have reworded the surface, because the last time I was hearing some conversation, it was kind of a little narrow.
Oh, yeah, I
the cage
understand that
itself was
part.
a little narrow.
Yeah.
But usually, as Larry said, it's usually around about 13 or 14 feet, so you can have batting on both sides.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
But you can also put the astroturf or something.
Yeah, you can put it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 60-foot length for pitching, and you could put a pitching machine and you won't fire it up to 90, 95. You'll adjust it accordingly. It'll probably be like at a 70, 65 mile per hour pitch, but just from a shorter distance, it'll be the equivalent of a pretty decent fastball.
Now, let me ask you
Both
another
softball
question.
and-
Oh,
And
okay.
the pitching machines we're looking at are capable
That's
of throwing baseball pitches, fast pitch pitches, and slow pitch softball pitches.
Good.
Yeah. Neat. All right. It's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, motion carries. Item 9F is consider approving change order number 4 to contract number 217-11 for construction of the Tennis and Rec Center.
Mayor and council, as y'all are aware, when we started the design process on both the community center golf pro shop and the tennis rec center, we were trying to fast track both projects for a number of reasons. One, to gain synergy, trying to bid both projects as close as possible at the same time, and then 2, to take advantage of the downturn in the construction industry and obtain favorable pricing out there. The initial assessment by the architect did do a look at the cursory look of the tennis slabs on the tennis courts, and included an allowance in the contract for crack sealing and resurfacing and repainting of the existing courts. Over the course of the construction, we've taken a look at it from an engineering standpoint rather than an architectural standpoint, and it is our opinion that we will have continual maintenance items with the proposed plan for crack sealing and repainting, and we recommend a product, an Armor Coat product, which comes with a 5-year guarantee, which would prevent a lot of these problems from happening. Also, we looked at the net posts, and majority of the courts needed to be replaced due to their age and their condition. This left a number of holes in the existing slabs, so we need to replace the net posts and repair those holes properly on that, as well as the handball court demolition. When we got into it and started really doing the demolition, we looked at having to demolish that wall out there and do additional asphalt repair on the handball court and resurfacing on that. Staff proposes, we negotiated with the contractor, and he came in with a price of $135,151 to armor coat the courts, repaint them, and give us a 5-year guarantee on this product. Staff recommends approval.
How does this break down per court?
We have 12 courts, 135,000 for the total, plus there's still the allowance in the original contract of $40,000 for the painting and the crack sealing that would be applied as well. So that's 177 divided by 12, so roughly about 15,000 a court.
Move to adopt.
Second.
What's the shelf life of that?
The armor coat is actually predicted to have a much longer life than the 5-year guarantee, but the manufacturer does warranty all repairs for that within 5 years. But you're looking at, it's very similar to a product we've used on asphalt overlays on concrete streets, and in those uses, which are a heavier use, we've gotten over 15 years in that application.
This is I got to ask it. You gonna change the post holes with the nets?
Yes, yes.
How do you do that when the court has certain dimensions? You're just going to fill the holes in and then put it back in there again at the same spot because...
Exactly. We have to cut out the concrete around where the old post hole was removed to get to sound concrete, and then place new posts, new concrete, tie it into the adjacent court, and then it gets resurfaced on top of that.
Okay.
And how close will this get us to the grand opening?
We're still looking at taking over the building, correct me if I'm wrong, but late May, for moving in equipment and all. We will need some time to move in equipment to get the building established and all. The contractor is asking for additional days on his contract. He does not net post replacement an additional 14 calendar days, armor crack repair system about 50 calendar days. But a lot of that work will be occurring concurrent with the work we're doing with moving into the facility, getting the network cabling up and all that stuff. So it should not have a very significant delay on the opening of the course.
I talked to Pete, the contractor. And, he said he'll make it.
He tells us he will.
That's cutting it close.
But for council's information, he is asking for some additional days on the contracted part of this, but he will probably run a lot of this concurrent.
You have to go by that at least every other day. I encourage all of y'all to go by that.
I go by there all the time.
Well, the community center looks nice. It's beginning to shape up, so.
Yeah.
It
actually looks like a building.
Looking big. It's looking big.
Yeah. It's beginning to face up. I need a motion.
I gave you a motion.
Oh, you did?
Second.
Let's move. There's a motion and a second.
All right. Councilman White and Ellen Catt made the motions. All those in favor? Motion carries. Item 10, ordinances 10A.
An ordinance of the City of Missouri City, Texas, amending Chapter 14 Building and Building Regulations of the Missouri City Code by providing for the amendment of the 2009 edition of the International Energy Conservation Code, providing for repeal, providing a penalty, and providing for severability.
Yes, sir?
There are no changes since the first reading.
Okay.
Good doubt.
Isn't that nice? Councilman Marshall made the motion. Councilman Smith made the second. There's no discussion. We'll vote. All those in favor. Motion carries. Item 11 are resolutions.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Missouri City, Texas, authorizing the negotiation and execution of an advanced funding agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation for the construction of intersection improvements on Farm to Market Road, 2234 Texas Parkway, between U.S. Highway 98 and Turtle Creek Drive.
I move to adopt.
I thought so. Second.
Now, you just said it wasn't going to include Turtle Creek.
It's up to the city limits, though. Not
The resolution covering what's in the city limit on the road, but the project limits are small. It gives some flexibility, so in case there's some issues, we don't have to go back to
I didn't want to send that 12-year-old kid that asked the mayor a question to miss message.
In summary, this is where we get the money for the previous council item.
Okay.
All right, been a motion and a second. There's no discussion. We'll vote. All those in favor. Motion carries. Good job for the police and fire auxiliaries.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Saturday night, great job, Larry, with the
Easter.
egg palooza with all the kids that were there. I mean,
We didn't even get run over by
I don't know how many kids were out there, but there was a ton of them. A ton of them. They looked like ants, man. I mean, they.
I almost got took out by
You did?
an 8-year-old.
See, we had the 4-year-old.
Yeah, we had.
8-year-olds are vicious, man.
It was good weather, good turnout, good job, Larry, by the Parks Rec guys and my Mayor's Youth Commission. It helped, and our police and fire auxiliary.
The police and fire for being out there at the egg palooza.
Did anybody? There was a bet with the firemen that there would be at least one broken arm. None. The skate lucky. Okay.
Really?
They didn't think they had enough Band-Aids when they saw them skating on concrete. But Clarence, it was nice, wasn't it?
Great. It was fantastic. All the kids enjoyed it.
Good job by the Parks Department.